Hi, BookTube. This is Johnny. I just looked at my BookTube channel. It's only been 5 hours since I posted a video. It's not been 24 hours, and but it is the last day of February 2018. It is the 28th of February here in West Michigan. It is 4:23 in the afternoon. It has been a sunny, cloudy, warm day. It almost feels like it's spring, but tomorrow we're supposed to get a mixture of rain and snow slush, but maybe not. The point of this video is that at the end of the month, I get my next diary, my March 2018 diary ready. I'm on page 159 this evening in my diary. I don't know. I have a blank page here. I don't know what I'm going to write. Usually I close in the afternoon after the mails come. I just kind of close. But as you know, my wife has gone for 7 days. She's gone to Denver to visit our daughter Bethany and her husband Andy and our Louisa, Margaret, and baby Jack. And so I'm here by myself, all by my lonesome, and I can either talk to myself or I can talk into this camera and to the BookTube world. But at the end of the month, I get out my calendar and I get ready for March. And so I tear it out. I get these at an office supply store. It's the calendar for the year 2018, by month 2018. So I get one of these, and then I tear out the April. No, not April. I tear out, see, April's in the back. I tear out for March, and then I cut the edges off. I do this so it'll fit into my folder, my little thing. I'll show you in a minute. I've been doing this for years. When I first started writing a diary in 1968, when I was in high school, I don't think I didn't use these. I told you this. I've told the story. Some of you have heard the story that when I left California back in '78, I burned all my diaries from high school up until '77. So all I have down the lower level in boxes and in plastic containers are diaries from really '78 until today. But I don't know what, in those early days when I was writing diaries, I didn't write all the time. I mean, I pretty much did. So after it's all been cut off, I put it in the folder here. So you've seen the February. Well, this is, as I show, this starts on the 15th of February. As I've said in my previous videos, I use two folders every month. The first folder is the first 15 days of the month. The second folder is from the 15th or the 16th of the month into the end of the month. So that's why there's two folders. And here, like I said, I started in February 2018. I was on page 122, and now I'm on page 159. So then I get the thing and I put it in here. I put it in the folder. Everybody has their way. I showed you that our second son, our middle child, Josiah, who's married to Hannah, and they lived in the Seattle area, and they just had a baby, Marika Rose. He keeps field notes. He writes on field notes. And I showed you some of those. I started collecting them. So now it's in there. And then I get a magic marker here, or a felt pen, a Sharpie, and I write on the front page, March 2018. See? And then I write on the second one, make sure I don't have it upside down, March 2018. So now they're all ready. So then I have these all ready. Tomorrow I will start on page 160. I have a calendar here. It says here on March the 7th, Carol's back from Denver. On March the 13th, a used book sale in Zeeland at 9:30 in the morning. And then also on March the 10th, which is a Saturday, there's a used book sale in Grand Rapids at 10:30 a.m., which my wife and I are going to go to, Lord willing, and the weather isn't bad. As you guys know, I can't drive anywhere, especially long distance, if it's raining or snowing or it's bad out. Now, I can drive around here in the Holland area. Zeeland is just the next town over. It's just about, 15 minutes from where we live. So I don't mind driving to Zeeland. But Grand Rapids is 25 miles. That's where our oldest son lives with his wife, Emily, and our two granddaughters, Josephine and little baby Coralie. So now I got March already. That's basically it. I did leave the house this morning, went to thrift stores, and I got 13 used books. But I'm not going to show those because I got tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. As far as what I've read today, I don't know. I've been kind of out of it. I mean, I went to thrift stores. I came home. I had lunch. Cataloged the used books I got at thrift stores and my library thing, Book Mountain, if you want to look at my books. And then I looked at BookTube videos, and that's about it. I listened to some death metal. Wrote my diary, and all I've read is what I read this morning, a little bit of N.T. Wright, Paul, a biography. I did get out the last book I had tried to read by N.T. Wright, The Day the Revolution Began, Reconsidering the Meaning of Jesus' Crucifixion. I didn't get much into this. I got on page 141. I got it back out. It's one thing I was thinking about books and about my reading habit, that I have to be honest. I don't really finish that many books from beginning to end. I tend to read until I get tired of it. But there are times when I have finished novels. Now, when it comes to nonfiction, I can't remember if I have ever finished any nonfiction. Like for example, I've been reading that Reformation commentary on Hebrews and James, and I haven't, since I got that William Perkins, I've been reading William Perkins on Hebrews chapter 11. Now, I did read all of William Perkins' exposition on the Epistle of Jude. So there are times when I do finish a book, a nonfiction book and a novel, but I tend just to read for enjoyment and for pleasure. Some people on BookTube, they'll say, well, I've read this many books this month. Maybe they've read 10 books. Maybe for the whole year of 2017, they read 50 books. I don't do that. I tend to read because I enjoy the activity of reading. And I read, like I said, I've read many biographies. What I'm going to do in one of my videos while my wife is gone in Denver the next 7 days, one morning I'll get out all my biographies on the Apostle Paul that I have read. Now remember, I've been a Christian since 1970. So it's going on 48 years. Now, in the early days of being a Christian, I just read the Bible. The first 5 years of being a Christian, I just read the Bible. And then around 1975, when I was on staff at the Richmond Rescue Mission in Richmond, I was ministering to people on the streets, alcoholics, homeless people, people who were just needed a place to stay. We had a place for women and a place for men. And that's when I started to, back in those early days in the early 1975, when I would study the Bible. Now remember, I worked in a rescue mission, and there were Bible studies in the morning and afternoon and at night. And different churches and different ministers would come in and give these Bible studies. And some of these guys, some of these ministers, Bible teachers, they're from all different denominations. They were Baptists, Pentecostals, they were maybe other denominations that I don't remember right now. But so I listened to these Bible studies, and I read the Bible, and I went to church. I went to a First Baptist Church, which is American Baptist Church, but I went to different churches, charismatic, dispensational churches. My girlfriend at that time went to a small little Baptist, charismatic, kind of Armenian church that I went with her. And then I've mentioned that around 1975, I was in Berkeley on Telegraph Avenue, and there used to be a Christian bookstore there called Logos Bookstore. And I bought this big book, which was an exposition on the Epistle of Hebrews by A.W. Pink. And as I mentioned, A.W. Pink was a Calvinistic Baptist, and he loved the 17th century English Puritans. And as I was reading this commentary of his studies on the Epistle of Hebrews, he quoted the Puritans like John Owen and others, and that's how I got into 17th century English Puritanism and how I began to read the Puritans. As I've mentioned, that in Berkeley in those days there were seminaries that were all really temples of Satan, but they had good libraries. They had libraries that had been there since the turn of the century, and they had 17th century editions of the Puritan works in their libraries. And on my days off from the rescue mission, I would take a bus to Berkeley, and I would go to these libraries, and I would sit in the library on my days off, and I would read the writings of the Puritans. And then later on, I joined Covenant Orthodox Presbyterian Church that had a church library with the writings, the reprints. There were reprints of the Puritan works on the Sovereign Grace series, which I've talked about. So but in those days, I kept a diary, and I would always be writing. I carried around a little backpack, and I carried, as I mentioned, I've had this since high school, and I would sit and I would write. And I would write in my diary. I would write what I was reading, what I saw, what I was going through, my ups and downs. I would write about life around me and my relationships and working in the rescue mission and I was always writing, and I've been doing that all these years. And so that's what I'm doing. So I got my March 2018 diary ready. All I've read today is N.T. Wright. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I'm kind of at a loose ends. I'll probably write some more in my diary. I might look at this book again. The Day of the Revolution Began, reconsidering the meaning of Jesus' crucifixion. And tomorrow morning I might make a video showing all my biographies I have, or Pauline theology books. So I'll sign off until tomorrow. I hope you had a good day. Today is a Wednesday, tomorrow is a Thursday. I don't have anything planned. Now Friday, I volunteer at the Library Used Bookstore, the Book Nook, from 10 until 1. But tomorrow, I don't know. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to do. If it's sunny, I might go somewhere and take photos of Mother Nature. But I don't know. So I'll sign off. Thank you for the comments today. I was talking about this morning when I was living with my uncle and aunt there in Charles. I looked on a map today. It was in Coos Bay, Oregon. There's Charles and there's Coos Bay. That I do remember my grandfather did send me a package of books. But I remember I was only 9 years old, and I think those books were way beyond my ability to comprehend. I don't know why he sent them to me. I don't remember what they were. But I do remember, like I said, reading that Bible with the dogwood covers. So yeah. So I'll sign off, and until tomorrow morning, Lord willing, I'll make another video. Hope you had a good day. Until tomorrow, bye.